Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, The Last 50. My name is Mary and this is my chronicling of my losing my last 50 pounds. If you haven't already, please consider like and subscribing to my channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can get alerted every time I upload new content. So happy Sunday, everybody. Today is Sunday, July 12th, which means that tomorrow is my 8-year wedding anniversary. Awesome. Doesn't feel like that's been that long. Flown by. But it is Sunday and I do owe everybody a weigh-in and a check-in for how the week went. So without further ado, I'm going to insert that weigh-in from this morning in right here. Okay, let's do this. 994. Yay. Amazing. See. Yeah, alrighty. Okay, awesome. So at 194, I have come down 3.8 pounds this week, which is great, which is probably about what I do when I'm on my game. Talking about maybe what I did differently this week as opposed to last week. Well, I didn't overeat because of a holiday, so that's probably one thing. Also, I stuck to my meal plan pretty rigidly. I changed it up a bit, and I'm happy with it and loving all the food selection I have. So I've kept up with my meal plan. I've been logging my food, my calories, so I know what I'm doing as far as overeating or not. I've exercised 6 days this week, which is my normal. But I think the one thing that I changed that probably had a big effect on this week was I've been much more mindful of my water consumption, and I've been drinking one of these bad boys a day. No, you're not. It's like bigger than my head. You're not seeing it weird. So this is a gallon. It's a gallon container, and I've been making sure to drink at least one of those a day. So I live in the bathroom now, so you can forward all my mail there. Otherwise, it's nothing new, nothing different, nothing magical. Just, watching my food, tracking my calories, drinking my water, and getting my exercise in. And when you do that and you're trying to lose weight, it works. No magic secret, sorry. Trust me, if there was a pill, I'd take it instead of sweating my ass off in 105-degree weather working out. But anyway, so that's the check-in for this week. Topics I want to talk about. I got a topic last week. Somebody asked me to talk about being pregnant and morbidly obese. So I said I would do that this week. Being pregnant and morbidly obese. Wow. Okay. So, let's just, two things right off the bat. One, when I was pregnant, aside from having, or the time that I got pregnant the first time, aside from maybe having some higher blood pressure than normal, higher than normal blood pressure, I had no other health issues that were going on with myself. So that's the first thing. And the second thing was, with both of my pregnancies, I had hyperemesis and I was sick as a dog the entire time, both times. I thought maybe the second time it wasn't going to happen, but no, it did. And I literally, for the first 16 weeks of my pregnancies, I did nothing but vomit. And then it went away for a while. And then right around the 32nd week of each, it came back. So I spent a lot of my pregnancies ill in terms of how I felt most days. I was either nauseous or actively vomiting, probably throughout both my pregnancies. My second pregnancy was a little worse. I, about 3 or 4 months in, maybe a little later, I can't remember right off the top of my head, I dislocated my SI joint, and it was probably, I would say, the most painful thing I've ever experienced in my life. And because I was pregnant, they wouldn't give me any, I couldn't have any pain medication really, and they wouldn't give me any kind of shots into my hip or back area because of my pregnancy. So I pretty much was in pain 24/7 for about, I would say, probably 2 months, until I decided I was going to try acupuncture. And I went to see an acupuncturist who had very great, wonderful, glowing rave reviews on Yelp, especially with pain management. So I went to see them, and between acupuncture and acupressure therapy, I was able to actually walk again, and my pain was alleviated probably in about 3 visits for 3 weeks. So I walked in there kind of barely walking and was able to walk out. So so my second pregnancy was not a lot of fun in that way. But anyway, being morbidly obese and pregnant, it's interesting. I think if you have other health issues, they can definitely be compounded with pregnancy. Interesting with me, with both of my kids, when I was pregnant, my blood pressure actually went normalized and actually got lower, and even was lower than normal, and not tremendously, but like, within the normal range. So in that way, it kind of was helpful to me, and it's been low or normal ever since, which is a good thing. The hyperemesis, I lost weight instead of gaining weight when I was pregnant. It was really bad. But after I started eating again, I did have severe food cravings. I think I ate pizza every day with my first child. And with my second, I had it was either chicken parm or turkey club sandwiches. It got to the point where places I was ordering from knew who I was, and they just would send food. It was really bad. So physically, I mean, it's definitely stressful on your body in the sense that you're already starting with more weight on your body, and now you're adding the weight of pregnancy, and it definitely causes a little bit more back problems, the strain on the muscle. I'm not going to say that my obesity didn't contribute to my SI joint going out of whack, because I don't know. There are definitely things that physically can happen when you're morbidly obese and pregnant. I did not get gestational diabetes, which I think everybody was shocked about. I think with me, the thing that was probably more a concern with my doctors than my weight was the fact that I was so much older. I was an older woman having kids. Like I said yesterday, I was 37 and 39. So they kept referring to me in my medical charts as of advanced maternal age, which is just awesome. And I was like, God, I'd rather them call me like fat than be like, she's so old. But yeah, that's what happened. So I really didn't have a lot of health issues. I think what was the most upsetting thing for me being obese and pregnant was that I didn't look pregnant. And I never thought of that, and I never crossed my mind that that would be an issue. But that was probably the thing that hurt me the most about the whole situation. Like everybody, I think, if you want to have kids, if you think about having kids, you think about yourself being pregnant, having a cute little like baby bump, and everyone being like, oh, she's so cute, she's so pregnant, she's glowing. Yeah, I just looked fat. I think I did not look really pregnant until I was like 29, 30 weeks pregnant, maybe even a little later than that, when I really started looking like there was a baby. Like I just felt like I didn't get a bump. It just like everything just grew out more. So it was like from like my under my boobs to like out, just came out. It didn't look like a pregnancy bump. It just looked like I gained 50 pounds. And that really hurt me. Like I remember crying about it because I was like, I just want to look pregnant and I don't even look pregnant. And that was really hard for me to deal with. And it kind of was heartbreaking a little bit that, people couldn't tell I was pregnant until towards the end. And, I just didn't want people to look at me and be like, oh, there's like severely obese person walking by. It's like, no, I actually have a child. So yeah, that was really, really mentally and emotionally difficult to deal with. In terms of giving birth, as I was heavy and bigger, I think I just kind of started measuring bigger. Like when they take the fundal growth, they take the tape measure and they measure your stomach. I think it was just like I was always measuring bigger. They kept telling me that I was going to have like an 8-pound child because my size of my stomach was so much bigger or so big, and this is what they kept saying, and blah blah blah. And both my kids, they said this with both my children, they were both 6 pounds, like 11 ounces. They were under 7 pounds, both of them. So they were not gigantic children. I think the other thing that definitely impressed my my family was that I gave natural childbirth. I don't know. I think there was a little bit of a thinking that, as an overweight person, I'm not going to give birth naturally. They're going to have to go in and give me a C-section. And actually, I'm the only person in my immediate grouping of my sisters, cousins who gave birth naturally. With my first child, I was scheduled to be induced because they were saying that she was looking big. And literally the morning of the day before I was supposed to be induced, I started getting into labor slowly. And then by the time I felt like I was going into labor enough that I would probably check in, we called the hospital. They just said, come on by for a labor check. At that point, we lived literally down the block from the hospital. So we went in and they were just like, you're supposed to be induced tomorrow. We're just going to do it. So they induced me then. I pushed for 45 minutes. She wouldn't come out. The doctor said, if she doesn't come out of the next push, we're going to have to get the vacuum or the suction or whatever. And I just went pushed and she came flying out. And that was the end of it. So that was uneventful. I only got like 3 stitches. It was not anything bad. So I had no issues with pain or anything like that, except I didn't know that it could ask for more. I had all the drugs because I did not want to deal with the pain. I wanted to enjoy myself during my pregnancy. So I was like, epidural me up right now. And I didn't know that I could ask for more when the epidural wore off. So there was about an hour where I was experiencing like the very late sensations of labor, and I thought I was going to die. And I kept telling Scott, please just have them take the baby now. Because it was so painful, and I'm not good with pain. And the nurse came in and she's like, you can ask for more. And I was like, well, I need more right now. So that was stupidity on my part. But yeah, that was kind of the only thing. And then with my youngest, she psyched us out several times. There were several trips to the labor and delivery where we thought we were in labor or starting to be in labor, and we were not. And then I had asked, my favorite part of this story is I had read all the time on like, pregnancy boards or whatever, what does it sound like when you go, or what does it feel like, or what do you do when you go into labor? Like, how do you know? Because I had not gone into labor. Like, they broke my water with my first child. I was induced. And like over and over and over again, I kept hearing like the reading, like, oh, I heard a pop and then my water broke. And I'm like, what the hell do you mean pop? Like pop how? Like what? I don't understand this. Like, how do you hear a popping sound? Like, that's just ridiculous. So the night before she was born, it was one of those days where I did not feel very well. I couldn't tell why. I wasn't feeling, just kind of tired or anything like that. Woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I was just kind of hot and sweaty, and I was just kind of laying there on my phone. And the next thing I know, I hear a pop and I feel water gushing down, and I'm like shuffling to the bathroom, and I'm just like, I cannot believe I just heard a pop, and then my water broke. And I'm like waking my husband up, and we go. And Ava came out with 2 pushes. It was nothing. So there you have it. Very uneventful births, thankfully. My weight had my obesity did not affect my ability to give birth naturally, did not affect the health of my child in any way. It did not affect any of the medications that I was on. Nothing happened to me while I was morbidly obese and pregnant. But like I should say, I was generally very healthy before getting pregnant. I think the doctors were waiting to see something happen, but every time my blood work came back or a test came back, they were just like, okay, great, you look great, everything's fine, your blood pressure's great, everything looks good. They were shocked I didn't come back with pre-gestational diabetes. I don't know. So I had, as far as physical experience, other than the hyperemesis and then the SI joint thing, it was pretty much the usual. I was extraordinarily fatigued. Excuse me. The usual back aches, probably more pronounced because I was carrying more weight. Usual, like, just tired on my feet kind of thing. But again, I think the most upsetting thing to me was not looking pregnant. It really broke my heart that I wasn't looking pregnant. I got over it, but yeah, it was upsetting to me. And I look back at pictures of me when I was pregnant now, and I'm like, oh my God, I was enormous. Like, how do I think I not look pregnant? But you probably, if I was wearing like a loose outfit or something, you probably would just think I was heavy. I was not pregnant. But I have pictures where I'm actually like holding the garment against my stomach, and you can see, like, obviously there's something there. But again, it could possibly just look like my stomach. So, it was hard. Like, I didn't get that kind of, oh, she's got such a cute baby, mom. Da, da, da. But thankfully, nobody was trying to touch me. I've heard that story a billion times, and I'm like, nobody wanted to touch me, thank Christ, because I wouldn't have handled that very well. But yeah. I can't say that mine is normal because I don't know a lot of other people who are as heavy as I was who have had children. So I don't know if that's normal or not. It probably is, but I also do know that there's lots of things that can happen that weight can affect when you're pregnant. Blood pressure is one of the things that doctors definitely watch. They don't want to have preeclampsia is a condition that is watched for, I think, a lot more with overweight women. So thankfully I didn't have any of those issues, but they are more common than we like to think they are in all women, not just heavier women, but I think that they pay more attention to us when we're heavier and looking at things like that. But again, I think that they were more upset about me being of advanced maternal age than anything else. So that should go to show you right there. Apparently, a woman having a baby at 39 is way, way more interesting than a woman having a baby when she weighs 280 pounds. Or heavier than that, actually. I think I was in the 300s with my second child, middle 300s. So yeah, so that's my experience being pregnant and morbidly obese. I don't know if I would do it again now. I think I've had enough. I've had 2. That's good enough. And if I did get pregnant now, I probably would look pregnant, which is, I guess, good, but I don't have any plans in the near future of trying to have another child. So that was my experience. And that concludes this week's check-in with y'all. I hope everybody had a great week. I hope everyone has a great week next week. It's hot as hell here. It's triple digits, and it's killing me. You don't even want to go out. It's that hot. But I hope you're having good weather where you are. I hope you're all still taking precautions, social distancing, keeping your masks on, washing those hands. Things seem like they're a little bit out of control right now. So take care of yourself and yours, and have a great week, guys. And I will check in with you again during the week. Bye.